Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to my first ever breakdown of a trailer. This is going to be my input, my intake on what I think might happen in the game. This is just going to be, honestly, a blind. If you haven't seen Watch Farkit, he asked a bunch of Q&As to the developers and got more information that way, but I didn't want to put mine out because I had no idea how to do this, don't know how to work it exactly. So this is my first attempt. We'll see how this turns out. If it shows up on YouTube, it worked out well apparently. If not, we'll see. So we're going to do both the trailers. This is going to be trailer number 1, then we're going to do trailer number 2. The first trailer is called Sons of the Forest Trailer 1. I just have a few pens here. I'm going to make some notes on things I'd like to talk about further that come up. So, this is, of course, was back in 2019 or 2019, I think, the trailer was released. 2020, I think. Somewhere around there, the first trailer was released. We'll take a look towards the end of 2019, I'm pretty sure. So first thing I noticed right off the get-go that I kind of found weird about the trailer right from the get-go was there's 2 choppers. I didn't see too many people mention this when I watched a few other breakdowns. And yes, I did watch a few others. I'm guilty, but I'm a little late to the ball, but I figured a few things I didn't think people talked about too much. That I'm not an expert by any means. But the first thing I noticed was you can see the chopper here, and we are in a chopper as well. I thought that this was the main character, right? I thought this was the main character. And we'll talk about why this is relevant in the next trailer. Alright, so I thought we were looking in the perspective of the main character. So we can see that we're in a chopper, but here's what I want to take a note of. So, we have a pilot. I'm going to guess a co-pilot. We have a person here beside us, a person there in front. So we have 2 people and a backpack. Then we probably have a person beside us at the bare minimum. And I'm going to guess that's our backpack. I don't think it's that guy. I'm going to guess it's ours, so it's easy accessible for us. I'm going to think we're going to have a backpack as a storage system, like we did in the first game. And I'm going to say that's the backpack we're going to use. MREs, meals ready to eat, of course. So this is true military standards. These might be special ops. Now, this is the part that kind of made me curious. We have our hands, which look good, yes, and I know it doesn't seem important. And he rolls up his sleeve and fight demons. Alright, so fight demons. So either, a lot of people said this is Timmy and very well likely, but to me, it's kind of curious where the placement is. Because a tattoo, you know what I mean? Like, usually when you get a tattoo, you go for the shoulder. You go for this. If you're in the army, you get usually your team's logo or military insignia on you somewhere where it's visible. So it's on your wrist. It's plain as day, visible. And I'm assuming that this character is either religious, and they think the cannibals are demons, or this unit itself is specially divided to be specific to kind of like Fear, when that game was released. Fear, how it was like you were sent in as a cleanup crew. I think that's how it was. I don't remember exactly, but in Fear, I remember that you were in there and you're chased by a ghost, and you're basically a cleanup crew for that. I think this is the same thing, but we don't see anybody else lift up their arm. So either this is a rookie to this company if it is that, but I'm probably not. Probably looking way into it. The art looks great. Definitely a step up. The fingernails, everything looks really good. We can see that it's got a bulletproof floor. So this is definitely, or metal floor, which is bulletproof essentially. So it's very strong, very durable. So everybody's looking out. We can't see beside us. That's kind of driving me crazy that we can't see who's there. But we can now see there's a co-pilot, I think, yeah. So we go back a bit. Pilot's here. There's no co-pilot. See what I mean? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and if there's there, that's 5. I'm just trying to... The reason I'm counting people is because I'm pretty sure this is going to be significant for the story. So I'm thinking that either A, we're trying to find all of our team members to continue on with our mission, or there's a special reason why this is curious to me. I'll re-bring it up later. Okay, so there's nobody beside us. We can see that. There's nobody else in frame at the corner. So I'm going to assume there's no one else in this plane. So there's 3 soldiers and 1 pilot. In this plane, we can see the mountains, the snowy mountains. So, and we can see that they're in full gear, prepared for this wilderness. Like, they got big heavy coats on, they got ski masks for the winter, they got goggles on to protect their eyes, they got helmets, the whole shebang. They got radios, communication, comms. We can see they're all kitted out for this mission, so they obviously know what they're supposed to be getting into. We can't see the logo on the laptop. It's so it's an Apple laptop, or an off-brand, essentially. But I thought it was kind of interesting that he had that laptop out from the get-go. Like, usually when you're on a mission, you get briefed, and then you're like, all right, we'll go. And it's hustle to the LZ. But anyway, this person seems to be either looking at something, looking for something on the laptop, or they're just, I lost my train of thought there for a second. But anyway, I gotta refresh. Okay, so back to the laptop. So I'm thinking they're tracking something on the island, like they're either looking for their landing zone, which could be possible, but to me, it strikes me more as the way he's looking at it the whole time until he's like kind of aware. They're like, it's like we're right on top of it. You know what I mean? Like he kind of looked first. We're right on top of this. And then he looks to the side and like, wait, we're in the sky. How can we be right on top of it? Right? Like, it kind of like is a sign that it's coming. I don't know. Just to me, it kind of strikes me as that, because he looks to the side, like, there's the thing we're looking for. Wait, what? Like, you know what I mean? And then they get hit by the thing. Something was thrown, laptop goes flying, everything goes wrong. We can see a shovel here. I'm kind of going it frame by frame. I apologize, but I didn't really come into this prepared for, like, stopping all the time, because I don't have any specific points. I just want to talk about the whole trailer as a whole. And, like, if you wanted to watch it on your own, you obviously would have by now. So the plane's going down. So for sure there's 2 people here. The pilot. Empty seat. We can see the blood stain on the window, even through the fire. So that's another thing. So this helicopter has blood on window. It has blood on the window, right? It was hit by a cannibal specifically, right, for this trailer. This helicopter was hit and went down because a cannibal was thrown. Or mutant or cannibal or whatever you want to call them. They have different names. In the Q&A that Farkit asked, they gave a specific name for the human variant to the cannibals, or yeah. So I'm just kind of rambling now. So I get more to the point. The helicopter's going down. Don't really see any more of the surroundings. It's all blurred. The plane's on fire, or the helicopter's on fire, so we can't see anything. We kind of get the assumption that we're crashing near the mountain, which is alright, I guess. Gotta keep some mystery, but I'd love to see more of the landscape from the helicopter view, just so we can get a better view, but they gotta leave things to the mind. So here's interesting. So this doesn't seem like it's right after the plane, because there's no plane around, and I didn't see us get thrown out. And it seems like, you know what I mean? Like, it seems kind of like a little more calm where they are, because the doors were closed. The doors were not open. So I think that the plane crashed, but this is a different scene in the game, because you have the hatchet. It's close to the opening. I'm going to guess that like maybe it's right near the opening, because he's grabbing an axe. And you need the axe for survival. So we see a huge hand. It wraps around the thigh. And it's like a big hand. So I think this insinuates that there's a giant on the island. And my intake is that's what they're tracking. This is what I'm thinking. But it could be... There's something else. This is what my initial reaction was when I first saw the trailer. After the fact that I was like, oh my god, it's so cool. I thought this was something important. So we see the lights. So I'm assuming this is going to be our cave light. So we're going to have those lights in the caves. On the helmet. I wondered if we can turn it on and off on our own. Like, in some horror games, you have a light, you can turn it off, and if you turn it off, you're less noticeable, but you're traveling in the dark. I think that might be a cool little detail, a more horror element, because I know that's what they're going for, to be true to the horror. So I think that it'd be cool if, let's say you're building a camp, you don't have a lot of light because you don't want to be found. Then I guess you'd kind of want to keep your lights off, but it'd hinder you because you'd have no idea what's going on. Yeah, that's just something I pointed out. So the person gets straight into the bush, blah, blah, blah. We see the lights go crazy, but that's pretty high up, right? Like, the height of that, really high. Like, above the tree line, so it's something really big. Or he got tossed up. The fireflies, really cool. Love the fireflies. The trees look good. We can obviously see big trees and sticks, so sticks will be making a comeback. I hope we do it the same way, because it's always fun. Because their mechanics are really cool in the game for building. Like, we can see some saplings, some big trees. And this is waifu material. I'm a fucking idiot. Okay, so anyway, this girl clearly is something more to the story. Seems like, to me, this location is extremely... Like, remember in the first game there'd be rocks and there'd be a cave around? This seems like that type of location. There'd be a cave around, I believe that's water in the background. Like, over, you can't see it, but to the left of the dancer, there's like a log, and it looks like a little mist, but I'm going to assume that's water. Like, it looks kind of misty, and fog usually resonates from water, so there's water around here somewhere, and if it's an island, of course, it's all around the edge, but anyway, so I'm assuming that's water. This girl, she's performing a little dance, and I'm curious as to why. Is it for us, or is it the fact that we just showed up and we just walked in on a performance? Like, why is she, like, dancing? Because it's a trailer, it's supposed to get us hype, I know. It made me interested, but the big question I have is why is she doing this? Like, if it's just for the scare factor, it's kind of creepy, but it's more sensual, I find. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not meant to scare you, really. Like, her dance routine is more to show a little bit different. She's stretching. So one thing I noticed is she was crawling on 2 legs, and there's a leg already up there. So we know that she has more legs. Right there, boom, boom. So in the background here, we can see some scenery, some shrubs, some leaves, some branches. What I wanted to make note of is the detail they put into this little crevice. Right, like, don't look at her butt, but look past her butt, just right past her butt. There's a little outline here, and I'm going to assume there's something there, like a little pond or something. And I know it seems like I'm just pointing out things that you would have noticed, but I wonder if this is like in the first game there was a little pond that had a cave right beside where it was, and a big rock, and I see a big rock right behind her. I wonder if that's going to be a cave that we just can't see. And she obviously does a stretch. We can see her shotgun here. So this is more of a performance, and it's clear that she sees us. She's looking right at us. She knows we're there. So I think maybe this is some form of character that we have a lot of interactions with, because this character, our main character, doesn't shoot right away. He seems more calm, like, you know what I mean, like he walked in, saw her, and kept walking, stopped to look at her. So this right here, we have our axe, we have a man with a shotgun. So he's wearing the same outfit as I'm assuming the main character would be, but he's one of the characters from the plane. I'm wondering if this is the multiplayer aspect again, but we'll all have the same gear on this time, or this is an NPC, and if it is, it's going to be a little more scripted, but that's fine. A little more horror story. I'm thinking that this character may be an NPC just because we don't see him any other point, and I'm assuming once we enter the cave, so you'll see we walk through, we're looking around, we see more beautiful scenery. It's absolutely lovely. The sun, the shading, really well done. So we can see the caves. They're a little more hidden, it looks like, because I wouldn't have noticed that right away. If this is how all caves are, I'm going to have a hard time finding them, because in the first game I was having trouble finding them. But it looks really well hidden away. Like, it looks more placed, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like, it looks more natural. Like, sometimes it'd be a hole in a wall and you're like, oh, there's a cave. So he jumped over the log. We can see skulls down here. So I wonder if the skull ornaments will be coming back. I remember there was those shrines or whatever that you can make with human limbs, skulls, and that. I wonder if those are a thing, because there was a sanity level in the first game. I wonder if they'll carry that over here. I think Farkit asked that and I forgot, but I don't remember. So you kind of move in like that. That's the loading screen. So this, we can see the ballerina at the bottom. We can see crawling mutants. They almost look like dogs in the way they're like more primal. So once again, I can see some spots where we'll have to jump. Because in the first game, there was some spots you had to use a rock to jump higher than you could. We can see a pile of... So we see one ballerina, and I think there's something over to the right at the edge. It looks like a head, an open mouth. It could just be more rocks, but I think it's another figure. It looks like it has boobs, so it could be some form of mutant. So these things are crawling towards us. And it seems like there's a lot of them. There's another ballerina here. So I'm wondering if, when I saw this the first time, I was wondering if the ballerina was an enemy to these things. Because it looks like the ballerinas are in the cave, and these things have clearly killed them because the ballerinas are not moving. They're all lying down dead. So I wonder if these things have some form of more power than we're seeing here, because our character's looking more ballerina there and ballerina over on the right. I'll rewind it, but I've paused it a lot. We can see that they're kind of a lot less scary. Like, they're freaky, but here's the thing I noticed. They have a belly button. They're human. They're clearly human. So they clearly are the cave cannibals that were in the first game. I wonder if these are the ones that stayed in there and couldn't get out, and they just kind of get fed by the main one. Or the caves are a little more safer this time. Like, not safe, but maybe it'll be more spiders, scorpions to worry about, because they don't seem like a big threat, honestly. There's no teeth. They seem brittle. They seem blind, unable to eat you. So I'm guessing they're more or less there to scare you this time. It might be a warning, like a alarm for cannibals that are more deeper in. Yeah. Sons of the Forest, we see the title screen. I kind of went off on a tangent in there, but back to my point. I think those will be a warning signal to more cannibals later in the cave. So if you see them, you might be able to kill them, but they might give a cry or a groan or a moan or something, and other cannibals will come running. So that's the first trailer. That's Sons of the Forest trailer number 1. I think I covered everything I wanted to. Anyway, we'll go to the second. I'll try to cut that out seamlessly, but we're back at the second trailer. This one's shorter by a lot, and it goes by super quick. So I'll try to keep it kind of consistent with the other one. So right after the get-go, we have the game logo. So there's no other helicopter in front. We don't see it. I don't see it here. There's no blood on the window. And this is a different scenery. There's no mountain. But the mountain was on the right. And it looks like we are seeing this from the right. But that's the pilot there. So this is a different location. So either they showed the first trailer just to get us pumped, or this is the second helicopter from the first trailer, and it goes down further up. So maybe they saw the trailer, and this is if you... So in the first game, there was the random generation of where you spawn, where your plane crashes, right? I think this is that being shown. So the first one could be you crash in the mountains, in the snow, and this one is more in the warmer part. Because we can see that we're in a different side, because there's our hand. We're on the right side this time. Our character is on the left. From the first one, we're on the right. And we only have one person this time, as far as I can see. There might be someone beside us, but we only have one person in the plane. So we can see the ocean in the background and nothing else. So we can see it like on the horizon here, right by his hand and that. I don't know what that symbol, that red sign means, but I noticed it. I thought it might be a little ambiage to something, but I'm not positive. So yeah, we're going down. So here, there's no one here. There's a person here. I'm pretty sure. I'm just going to rewind it real quick because I want to see something. Okay, so there's 2 people there. So it's 2 people again. So there's 2, 3, 4 again. So there's an 8-man squad going in here. If it's all true what I'm predicting, but it might not. So we have headphones on the ground. Everybody has headphones on, so I don't know whose those are. Those might just be to communicate with someone. Or that was a VIP, a very important person, coming with you to the island. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe the girl dancing is the package that you're looking out for. I don't know. I'm trying to speak military term. So we're going down. We can see we're in more of the forest. We can see a mountain off to the left. That mountain, I'm guessing, is going to be either a smaller one or it's going to be the same one with the snow on it. But it seems too hot here because the sun's out and there's no snow around on any of the trees I see. So we're crashing. No, okay, I couldn't see it. I couldn't pause it right. But there's a little segment there if you watch it seamlessly where the character, we see the ground and we crash on the ground. So the plane literally plummets to the ground. Right? That kind of is interesting for the fact that this scene here, it's calm. Now, I know for a fact that there's no chopper around, but we're in the same area looking at the snow mountains. We're in the same type of wilderness as where we crashed. So I'm thinking this character, the one from this helicopter, is tracking this dot. And it looks like, so here you can see 593 meters. So, and you can see a little triangle here, and I'm assuming that's where you are. That's because it's right dead center, and I'm guessing that's where you are. So that red dot could be one of two things. One, the other helicopter. Because it crashed in the snow mountains, and that looks like it's on the snow mountains, or near it. Or two, it's that girl that was dancing, and that's how you find her. You have to, like, I think for the first little bit of the game, you have to survive, and maybe as you get more tools to go on an adventure, you have to find her, or you have to find the other plane to get some form of contact with the outside world, or that's your buddy that you're working with. One of the few. Because it could be that the multiplayer element, one of you is in the first and one of you is in the second helicopters, and you both crash different sides of the map, and you have to figure out where you guys are. So it kind of flickers there, so I'm thinking this might be damaged, or it might have a certain range to work, because it flickered. You saw it, right? Everybody saw it. Kind of flashed. So I'm thinking that might not be always reliable. Like, it might work at certain clearings. Like, if it's too overgrown, it won't work. Or if you're in a cave, it doesn't work. So you have to trust your memory on going where you went. So chopping down trees looks really good. So we're in the snow. We know that for a fact. We're in the snow now. So we're making our way towards the red dot, I think. And we're making a house. Or maybe that was our house. I don't know. But we're cutting down trees. So it looks like it's already... I wonder how long it takes to cut down a tree now. Because we didn't see it start. But in the first game it took, 4 or 5 strikes to knock down a tree. This one, it looks like it's a little bit more, because you start and he's already halfway through on the first swing, and he's already done 2, and it still hasn't gone down. That you see it cuts away. It's kind of interesting, just something I noticed. So we have some half-grown trees here. Like, we can see a little tree and a slightly bigger tree, and then huge trees in the background. So I was thinking that this might indicate that we can grow a forest. Like, if we, it's going to sound dumb, but if we wanted to have replant nature. And this is my thought, because the cannibals are supposed to be smarter and a little more, there's going to be a little more in depth with the AI. So I wonder that if you cut down trees, they get mad. So to off-balance that, you plant some and they get less mad at you. It'd be kind of interesting. It's just my thought. Like, and it might take time to grow. Like, you might plant it and you might have to look after it, but it might appease them a little bit. So if you cut down like 80 trees and you plant only 4 trees, they're still going to be pissed at you. But if you cut down a tree and replant a tree, it might balance out and they might not hate you as much. I don't know. Might be a bad idea. Might just be, I don't know. So we can see the tracks in the snow This would be nice if it stayed like this, but I doubt it would. I'm thinking that what is going to happen, the reason I think it won't work like this is because then they don't have that element of you getting lost. Because every forest player has that, I'm going to go cut down a tree. Oh, there's no trees around my house. I got to go into the woods. Or I'm going to go exploring. And if you're in the snow, you just look for your tracks and you can find your way home. But it doesn't really seem like that would work because, it kind of takes away from that whole lost element. But who knows? They might have something in place where it snows and you lose your tracks or something. We can see a hut. That's obviously a custom-made hut. I say that because I could never get my walls that square with that roof. And we have a drying rack. I think that's a little rock or stick holder. We have a fence around the back portion. The fence looks really nice. It looks like it's haphazard, which is good because you don't want a perfectly lined fence. So my thing is with the solar panels, I don't know exactly what that means. So I'm thinking that maybe our GPS needs power, and if you let it die, you can't keep on with the mission. So you have to charge it. So you have to find solar panels, and I'm guessing the helicopters are the ones with the solar panels. Like you might have a limited number that you can use, maybe. So if you have one house at the start and you move, you have to take down your solar panels and put them there. This is my thoughts anyway. We can see the figure. We can see the girl's back. She's got 3 legs. She had 3 legs in the first trailer, but now she's she's shivering. She's cold. Yeah, it looks like she kind of made her own little track. What else can I say here? We have a guitar. That would be cool if we could actually use that to play, just to raise our sanity, make us feel normal. We have a porch. We can see that we were putting a little covering over the front. I can see 1-2 logs already poking out. So I'm thinking maybe there'll be actually an element of protection. Like you can get, if it rains, you get wet, and if you get wet, you could get sick. And that could be a thing in the game. So that's why you'd kind of want to have cover from in your house. Or it might be just a decoration. I don't know. So we have the girl back. She's back. She's shivering. She's cold. She seems like she doesn't know how to survive out here. Because in the 2 scenes we've seen her, she seems really out of place. She's cold. I think she's got 3 arms as well. Yeah, she's got 3 arms. Or 4 arms even. Just to point out, there was snow in the log, so I'm guessing if you build in the snow, you'll have snow on things. And it might be cool if they could, but I doubt they can. If, like, your weapons could get a little bit of snow on them. Like the crossbow, for example. You use it in the snow, and it's blowing snow. You get a little flakes on your crossbow. It'd be kind of cool. It'd be a little detail. That would be nice. We're by water. We can see salmon jumping up. We can see the girl sitting by the water looking at us. So she seems like relaxed here. She seems like she's on a picnic almost. You know what I mean? Like it's like just relaxed, having a good time. A lack of wildlife is what I'm noticing. I haven't seen any squirrels. Not squirrels, lizards. Anything else really from the first game. I'm wondering what they have as wildlife, because they always have in games like this, any survival game, they have like 2 or 3 animals that can kill you, and they have like 2 little ones that you can get easily, and they have like turtles and stuff like that would be useful. But yeah, animals. Curious on what animals they'll bring in. So she's still just sitting there. She's looking at us again. It seems like she always is looking at us. So maybe she tells us where she is and we gotta go find her. Or maybe it's that tracker thing and that's how we find her. But it's always curious that she knows that we're coming. And it could be in our head too. She could be a mental state. Like this is our wife or something. I don't know. Could have to do with a sanity little factor. So she's got 3 arms, 3 legs. Or does she only have 2 legs here? I don't know. Seems like she didn't have 3 arms, if I remember, but I don't know. Could be wrong. The water looks really good, really crystal, and you can see the mist. This is what I was talking about. The mist is over the water, so clearly the game developers know this in the game. So that's why I thought in the first trailer, that's why it was so misty. It's near water. Okay, so first sign of cannibals outside of the cave. So it seems like these guys are big and bulkier than the ones in the first game. Kind of. What I mean is there was the scrawnies, the little ones that were thin, pale, and they had the regulars, and then you had the boss, the chief, that was super buff. And we can see that this guy here has a mask that seems to glow in the night, and this person doesn't. So I think that might represent status. The ones with a glowing mask may be higher up than the ones without. Or it just might be a way to differentiate the different figures, just so they have more models in the game. So clearly there's a new strategy involved, because we have one walking towards us and one went around to flank us. Like we can see him go off. We have a gun in our hand, a pistol instead of a shotgun, which is good because I'm going to use every bullet in that thing. We can see that he has a weapon. It looks like a stick. So it seems like they're still primal. They're not too advanced, but they have tactics now. He's going to flank us. We'll see him again in a minute. Yeah, see, he runs across, and it's obviously to our left. So now we have to focus on backing up. And I'm going to guess that if there's 3, there'll be another one they'll flank right. And you have to it's going to be harder to combat. So this person looks like they're wearing clothes this time. Or it could be human skin. That would be sick if it was human skin, because it looks really draggy and droopy. You can see here, as he comes closer, it's a shirt, I think, but it's very crude and very old. You can tell it's like wrinkled and broken. So this is either a survivor that went mad, or this is a cannibal that still got some sanity left, because the other ones were naked, butt naked, and these ones have clothes. So they're a little more primitive, or they're humans that were on this island and got affected somehow. And now it looks like a bone. I'm going to assume he's using a bone. So we shoot him in the leg, and he actually reacts, which is good, because in the first game you could throw a spear and they'd still come at you really well. This one looks like it actually took the bullet, and it actually fell down to one knee. Actually fell down and seemed in pain, which is good. So that means, and it's still alive, which is another useful factor. So I'm thinking that if you fire warning shots, it might have a chance to scare it away, which is interesting. We have the same one back, so that's the one without the mask. Well, it had a mask, but this one has a glowing one, and it looks like it's the same one as before that ran off to our left. So he came back, and he's still here, but now he's on the right. And it seems like he's taking your attention away from him, is what I'm gathering, because this person is down, his comrade's down. I'm giving the AI a lot of credit, but it could just be for the trailer. But what I gather is he saw his ally get shot down, so he ran over to the right, away from him, so you have to focus on him. You know what I mean? Like, you can't shoot him and kill him, so you have to focus on him first. We reload our gun. I don't know how many bullets this gun would have, but it seems like we put a mag in the gun. So like we load it and everything. So it seems like we'll have more than one magazine to work with, which is good. She's pointing at this guy. This guy is standing there. We can't see anything else in this scenery. We can see it's raining now. It's a very different element as before, and it looks like it's a storm getting dark. The cloud, it looks like the sun's still there, but it's like dark in the sky. So it's a really big rain. I wonder if this is like a sign, like you could go home and stay inside in the rain, because it looks like everybody's wet. Like you can see wet on his hands, wet on her hair, wet on her clothes, wet on his hand and all that. So I wonder if the elements will actually be a big factor this time. Sorry, I hit my desk. I'm getting animated here. I'm actually pointing on my computer at things I'm noticing. But I don't know. The thing's not going away. I don't know why. But yeah. So this person, he's got like a blacked out eyes, so we can't see his eyes. It's kind of interesting. So we shot him in the head this time, and the headshot knocks him back, and he falls down dead, which is good because a headshot would. So I think that if you have a gun, you can actually be either merciful or you can be just kill him. But my question is, if you shoot him in the leg, will the tribe just kill him? You know what I mean? Because he's not useful. So that's a little thing to remember, is like, what's the point of shooting him in the leg if it's just to not kill him from you? So I'm thinking there might be a bigger factor here that we just don't know yet about, like, if you're more merciful, the cannibals will be a little more to you. But I don't know what that's about. So right here, we have a cannibal crawling away scared of you. We have a cannibal coming into a comrade to the left, and it looks like a female, and she's got clothes on as well. Now, the thing to note is this guy seems more painted than the other guy. He's got white on his arms, white on his side, white on his legs. He seems painted. Doesn't seem like he's wearing clothes. She seems like she's wearing like leaves and branches and stuff as clothes. Very native, primal. And she seems to be tending to the guy that's on the ground. So I'm assuming that if you don't kill him, that women of the tribe may come and lend aid while the men try to fight you off or do what this guy's doing, try to take your attention away. And it seems like our character is paying no mind to them in the corner. It seems like he knows that they're not going to attack him. And this guy seems genuinely scared for his life. So maybe they're not crazy. Not all of them anyway. Maybe some of them have a sense of, I want to live, and the best way to live is just to get away from this fight right now. And it seems like he's blocking his face. He's trying to wiggle away. And it seems like our character's like not shooting him, pointing his gun at him. So I guess maybe you can scare them. If you shoot enough of them, the gun might scare them. So it might be a nice little intimidation factor. So what I thought from that little moment there is that if you have no ammo in your gun, maybe you could pull it out and have a chance to just scare them by the fact that you have a gun still. You know what I mean? Like, because if you see a guy in the forest with a gun and you don't know if it's loaded or not, if he points it at you, you're gonna run, or you're gonna try to take it out of his hand. But the thing is you still have that sense of he might have a bullet in there. I don't know. So it might be something like that maybe as well. You can just point it at them and have a little effect. So we're digging with the shovel from the plane. So we obviously got to go. I keep calling it a plane, a helicopter. So obviously at some point we go back, or we have it on us, just on our own from the helicopter. And now we're digging. This looks like it's more for a trap, for how deep it is, and like how it's spaced out. Like you can see, or it could be to fortify a wall. That's what I was thinking, is like if you put a post in the ground, it's not as strong as one that you dig down a little bit, right? Like if you wanted to build a defendable wall, you wouldn't just put a stick in the ground. You'd dig it out, put the big log in the ground, mud it, push all the dirt back, and then that would be stronger than just a little stick that you put in the ground. So I think that would be kind of interesting if you wanted to make your wall stronger, take more licks. We'll see why I think it's not going to matter too much. So this is obviously, he's pulling it, a little door that's been hidden away, safe room or whatever. And it seems kind of interesting that it's on the ground in the dirt. Maybe that's what we're digging for. I thought it would be a defendable wall. So this looks like the end game from the first game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's dark, it's more businessy, it's not really as nature heavy. So in here we have a TV, we have a whole setup here. This is curious to me. This might be what we're looking for in the game. This might be why we're here. But it seems like it's set up like someone's meant to live here for a while. There's a chessboard, there's a TV, there's some food over here in the kitchen. There's a refrigerator that's open. It looks like it has some food. It looks like there's a garbage bag, a bunch of paintings. This looks like a home. And on the computer here, I don't know what that is over top of it on the computer. Like, you can see it. Oh, there's a light. Never mind. I didn't notice it until just now. But there's a light, there's a computer, there's a TV. This looks like it's meant to be lived in. It's a long building. There's a hallway. There's a 3D printer. Some clothes and stuff on the ground. My question is why does it look so ransacked down here? Because usually if you have a bunker, you close it, you don't leave, you never go anywhere. You stay in that bunker until you're safe. So either a cannibal got in here and our character off camera killed him, or the person that's down here isn't a person at all. So we're 3D printing things. We can see we have a mask, and I think the masks are important for the cannibals. We have a toy with a hand off, a newspaper, and then this over to the right of the screen. We can see that there's some IDs or something over here. I'm curious on what that is. Like, if it's on the table, and it seems like everything on this table has a purpose. You know what I mean? Like, we have the laptop, that's what you're 3D printing. You have a toy, you can 3D print your toy. You have a mask, the printer, and then you have these little 1, 2, 3 notes over here, or pads or whatever. It looks like badges to me. I'm curious on what those are. Very interesting. So our character looks at it, examines it. So this is what I liked. The building mechanic. You can actually split the wood, put it down. There's your floor. Now we actually cut out chunks of the window. Now I'm curious if we can only do this once. Like, you can put a board down, and then on the third board you have to cut out the chunk you want your window in, and then on the second chunk you have to do the same, and then build the wall. Or is this just the planning stage and he does it automatically, but he looks like he's cutting it? If that made sense at all, let me know if that did. I hope you know what I mean. Like, you have the flat, when you're planning it, like in the first game, you'd press a button and you'd cut out that section for a window. But is that how it works, or do you actually have to manually pick, or you can manually pick where you want it? You know what I mean? Where you cut it. So obviously this guy's getting raided by the painted cannibals. Like, you can see that they're all painted. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have masks on. They look like they're painted. Like, they have blacked out eyes. They have paint on them, blood and paint, and they're just destroying things. They're trying to break into your house. They're knocking down your wall. But if you notice, it's going off section by section. It's not all coming down. So it seems like they could attack the top, bottom, and then, you know what I mean? Like, the wall's not just plummeting. But this isn't a defendable wall. I can tell you that because it's on an angle. Like, he's put them lengthwise, top, not flat length, flat length. It's body, body, body on top of body. So I'm thinking this is maybe he was building something else here. And they're taking this, they're knocking down the wall, and they're dragging away your wood. I wonder if they're trying to take it back to nature. Maybe it's like the painted ones are really conservative for nature, and they don't want you to disturb the balance. But anyway, so they're taking the log, but then we have a cannibal with a mask on, with one that does not. I'm thinking that this may indicate that there is tribal battles that happen, because it seems like this guy may come out and save your ass from the raid, because the house is in ruins. He clearly destroyed it, but our character's not shooting the big guy. He's letting the big guy do what he wants. Clearly. And the big guy's got the little guy in a chokehold, throws him in there like he's garbage. And our character's backing up slowly. Not running, backing up slowly. Not engaging, backing up slowly. So I think the key thing here is that is a cannibal that don't have any bad relations with right now, and you don't want to start anything, so you back up and go about your business. And here we can see we have the mask on. The cannibal has flesh again. I want to say that's flesh. I don't think it's a shirt now. I think that one's flesh. And he's got a mask of his own on. He's looking at us. I think he's trying to figure out if we belong or not. He's not attacking us. He's examining us right now. The leaves are falling as well. So it's obviously fall. So it's a full cycle. It was winter, fall, spring, and summer. And then we have some mutants. Mutants I won't get into too much. But we have this guy that's like all fingers. That looks like he wants a hug. So we taser him. Then we have a pond. This looks like a beautiful pond. Yeah, it looks like there might be a cave around here. So we taser him. And my question is, what's the taser for? Might be good for boost starting something, like in the bunker. There might be something that you have to give a little electric energy. There might be things in the world that you can interact with. But we shoot him, and he just falls down. He doesn't really die. So we have a crawly thing with like a twin butt, and then we have another one at the top. But you can see there's something like those are more things down here at the bottom. They're like babies. Like you can see 1, 2, 3. 3 things by the crawly one that's alive. I'm curious on what that is. Because it's obviously a baby. It's a head. Here, I'll rewind it a little bit. We'll rewind it all the way back here. Because you can see there's no crawly one in screen. Then all of a sudden there's this crawly one in screen. And now we can see 1, 2, 3. And that looks like a head to me. It looks like a baby. It's the same skin tone. It's not a rock. Because the rocks are gray. It's the skin tone of the crawly one. And I'm thinking that's a baby. We have another crawly one dead. We have this guy still around. And those little crawly ones look like they're crawling up to the baby. And then that's the end of the trailer. So yeah, hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully you learned something that you might not have saw or thought of. But like I said, it's just my speculation. I could be completely wrong. But that's what these are for. Anybody that comes to these wants to see people's perspective. That's what I do it for anyway. But it looks really good. Looks really promising. I hope that the developers, of course, Endnight Games, everybody loves them because they're true to their word. They seem to provide what they give, what they show. And the Forest seems like it's going to be just like that. Because the first Forest, it was promised exactly how it would look, and that's how it would look. And that's how it came out. The Sons of the Forest, it seems like it'll look good, so I'm betting it will. It's hard to find developers that do that. The music in the trailers, both trailers, seemed very good. Very good pick. I wonder what other sounds they'll have for music. Let's see, wrap it up. On a whole, both trailers make me want to play it right away, which is exactly what a trailer's supposed to do. So until they have another little gameplay trailer, because a lot of that looked like it was gameplay to me, if you know what I mean. Didn't look like it was really scripted. It looks like they were just walking around. They had some things happen, so it looked interesting. I wonder. My questions are for the end of it all. How much of it is? How much of a story is there? How much survival is there? What animals are they bringing? And I guess the last thing I'm going to ask is for the audience: how excited are you for this game? On scale of 1 to 100, how excited are you? 100 being I'm peeing myself, 1 being I fell asleep watching the trailers. Other than that, how many of you have it wishlisted? And feel free to share any of your theories, your thoughts, your concerns, and if you have any more information that I don't. Besides that, stay frosty. Have a good day.